Hej, cześć, siemano, witam was w kolejnym odcinku Runaway 2 Sen Żółwia. Okej, poprzedni odcinek nam się zawiesił w tym miejscu. Tu są jakieś dziwne wiksy. Kiedy klikam idź do zamarznięta rzeka, to się czasem zawiesza, więc trzeba uważać niestety. Tak się zdarza. Okej, co ja tu miałem zrobić? Tak, trzeba pogadać z Joshuą i zaproponować mu zjedzenie łososia. Tak więc... Więc zaczynamy. Może trochę mu pomożemy jakoś.
Joshua, it's me, Brian, your friend.
Nice to meet. I bet you don't. Well, by the way, my name is August. You don't.
To już było.
Joshua.
No, I eat.
Yeah.
What the end you?
To też już widzieliśmy.
Man, you're
What? No.
O! Nic się nie stało z Trantorem. Musisz tylko zjeść surowego łososia, żeby sobie przypomnieć hasło.
Nothing's happened to Trantor. You just need to eat some raw salmon to remember the password.
Raw salmon? A lunatic wouldn't eat that.
You have to do it. It's completely necessary.
Well, guess what? I'm not gonna.
Not even with some W ketchup and freedom fries?
Yuck! I can't stand ketchup. What I really like doesn't go with salmon. I'm more of a fiend for chocolate, shakes, vanilla ice cream, donuts, peanut butter,
O Boże, jakie
apple
smaczne
pie,
rzeczy.
syrup, caramel smoothies.
Jadłbym.
Is there no way to convince you?
No, Brian. I am a civilized person. A decent Tranto-Japanese American. And I don't eat raw animals. You think I'm some sort of polar bear?
What did you say you are? Tranto what?
Tranto-Japanese American. A resident of Trantor. Of Japanese origin. Born in the United States. Quite a mix, isn't it?
Japanese? So you do have some Japanese blood in you?
Of course. What do you think? My ancestors were samurais. I believe my grandpa's the one who came to the States. But I haven't really studied the family tree.
Well, if you're Japanese, whatever, you must love sushi, right?
Oh, hi, Brianson. Mackerel, tuna, halibut, octopus. It's almost the only gourmet food I enjoy, besides desserts.
What about salmon? Do you dig salmon sushi?
Well, if there's nothing else swimming around, yeah, I'll eat it with pleasure. By the way, did I mention I'm dying of starvation?
I'll get you a salmon, or my name's not Brian. Don't you worry. You'll be getting ready for the most delicious plate of sushi you've ever had in a jiffy.
Oh, dear Brian, we geniuses don't cook. If nobody's around to make our meals, we just order out for pizza or bite our nails. But under no circumstances would we waste any time on something as mundane as cooking.
No tak, sam sobie nie ugotuję.
He was hard to convince, but this is better than nothing. I have no choice but to look for someone who will teach me to make salmon sushi.
Okej, chyba już nawet wiem, gdzie trzeba się teraz udać. Trzeba podać tym dziwnym kolesiem od niedźwiedzi polarnych. Okej. Łazawski.
Listen, Ben.
Cóż za nazwisko.
What's on your mind?
Nie wiesz przypadkiem, jak się robi sushi.
You wouldn't happen to know how to make sushi, would you?
Well, as you guessed, I don't know how. And go figure, because I've been to Japan a couple of times, but I know nothing beyond traditional cooking. In steak with mashed potatoes, I have eyes for nothing more.
And I'm assuming you don't have a book with the recipe for salmon sushi?
The sushi? Not as I recall. But if you want, I have a great one for grilled salmon. I could win the Iron Chef with that recipe, especially if the salmon's fresh.
Do you know anyone in this area who knows how to make it?
If anyone would know about that, it's Professor Simon's cook. I think he's from China, somewhere around there. But today is his day off, so I doubt you'll find him around. Well, then there's Archibald, but if I were you, I wouldn't want to meet him.
Archibald? Who's that?
Some say he's either Bigfoot, a serial killer, a 200-pound gremlin, or a war criminal. People say the darndest things. Satch, the pizza guy from Sicily, says he saw him a short while back. He was coming to deliver some pizzas to me when he heard a noise in the back of his pickup. When he got out, he saw a running shadow and chased it until he lost sight of it. When he returned to the pickup, they'd stolen the pizzas and opened up the engine. He couldn't get the pickup started, so he had to leave it around here somewhere. He's sure it was Archibald, but actually it could have been anybody.
Do you know what Archibald looks like?
The last thing I heard is he's 6'7", has a flat head, green skin, and a body full of scars.
Do you have any idea how I can find him?
No, pal. You don't find Archibald. He finds you. You may be asking yourself, why is Ben saying that? Well, because that's what happened to me. Not once, but twice.
So, you say you've seen Archibald?
No, amigo. I didn't tell you I had seen him, but that I'd been with him. As for seeing him the way I see you now, never.
What happened the first time you met Archibald?
The first time? Oh yeah, it was Christmas Eve. I picked up my guitar, went out on the balcony, sipped down a mug of beer, and started singing A Christmas Carol. I hadn't finished the first bar when I felt a sharp object in my back, as a whispering voice told me,
John Lennon sang Christmas carols much better than you, and look where you ended up. Your end may be much more cruel
and imaginative. I stopped playing and asked, You're Archibald, aren't you? But there was nobody there.
What happened the second time he found you?
I was sitting here having a beer when I recognized his voice.
I'm going to give you some emergency anesthesia. If you move, I'll leave you dumber than you are now.
I felt something hit my head, and I fell to the floor. When I woke up, I saw I'd been blindfolded. Well, actually, I didn't see it, but you get my drift. I said, Where am I? Who are you? What do you want from me? I thought my kidnapper was a competing bear scientist, so I yelled, You'll never get me to tell you my theory, no matter how hard you torture me. But that wasn't the deal. He said his name was Archibald, and that he was a chef. He just invented a tarantula venom salsa, and he wanted to experiment with me to see if the venom was still poisonous after being boiled. Thank goodness it wasn't. But it was quite a laxative.
You have no clue about where his house is?
Well, no. I've scoured the area many times, but I can't ever seem to find it. I'm starting to suspect he lives in a hole, like a bunny rabbit.
Well, let's stop talking about Archibald for now.
As you wish, but don't ever call him Archie. He gets mad with rage.
Okej. Dobra. Wychodzi na to, że musimy iść tutaj i zagrać kolędę. Ale za każdym razem jak będę tam szedł, będę zapisywał grę, bo wiecie, nigdy nie wiadomo. Jak raz się zawiesiło, to kto wie. Kto wie, co się zdarzy teraz. Jeszcze do tego ta chrypka. Niedobrze. Chata Łazawskiego. Zabawne. Dobra, no to gramy na gitarze. Pewnie zobaczymy, czy przyjdzie. Wydaje mi się, że tak, o ile dobrze pamiętam.
Man, that's a great idea. If I play the right song, maybe I can get that Archibald guy to show up. I better go outside so he can hear me all right. Here we go.
No to jazda.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh?
Hey, you!
Darn. Wait for me to...
That's too bad. His nose didn't even bleed.
Lol.
Can you tell me why you just tried to do me bodily harm? Forget it. I don't feel like arguing. You must be Archibald from what I've heard.
Well, you must be a moron. And from what I've heard, a worse guitar player than your father.
So, how is it you met my father?
From hearing him play on that very balcony there. Or isn't your pop that bird brain with the bears?
No, I believe you're mistaken. Wazowski's not my dad.
I'd swear you guys were family. I find it hard to believe backward evolution is widespread among humans.
Hey, he doesn't look like...
The same ape-like expression on your face, the same lack of musical knowledge, and bad taste from the look of your clothing. No, there are just too many coincidences.
Listen, Archibald, I'm warning you that...
All right then, let's look at it from a more entertaining perspective. I know a game called Give Me One Reason Why You Shouldn't Die at this very moment. You'd like it. The end's supposed to be a killer.
Oh no. No to rozmawiamy z nim, bo co innego możemy zrobić.
You have to help me. My friend got sick from some wild berries, and you're the only one who could whip up the antidote.
You got the wrong idea about me, mister. Even though I'm smarter than most of them, I'm not a doctor.
I've heard you're a whiz in the kitchen.
Mister, I am much, much more than that.
Where'd you learn to cook?
By cooking. How else do you think people learn? But of course, I studied at the finest schools in Paris with the greatest chefs. All I can say is, though, they learn more from me than me from them.
You must have worked in the finest restaurants, I'm sure.
Yes, all the ones they won't let the likes of you into. But I grew tired of half-baked cooks stealing my recipes and using them to get the best reviews in the Guide Michelin.
The truth is, looking at you here, it's hard to picture you in a white apron and a chef's hat.
Hey kid, I can easily picture you in a shroud lying in your coffin.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying...
Good lord, what an annoying person. If I'd known, I would have acted like a sane individual and made you swallow that bleach.
I need you to tell me how to make sushi.
I don't have to explain anything to you. Did you explain to me about the expired syrup they gave you when you were born?
Do you know Professor Simon?
The best thing I can say about him is, I hardly know him. He doesn't bother me with nonsense, and he doesn't make a bunch of noise with a guitar. The guy is nice and quiet in his mansion. Doesn't bug anyone or show his face. Now that I think about it, I kinda like him.
I have money. If you help me out, I'll pay whatever you want.
Well, obviously there had to be something good about you. But I'm warning you, I don't come cheap. And I don't work for scraps.
Are you sure you can't teach me to make sushi?
I've mastered the art of cuisine, but I hate the world of education. You want to learn a trade, commit a crime, and sign up for a vocational course in prison. When they let you out, you'll know something useful other than fishing soap chips out of urinals, and you'll no longer be a parasite to society.
You charge that much for your services?
Price is a relative concept, kid. It depends who asks me, what they want, when they need it, and more than anything, what side of the bed I woke up on.
Wow, czy on w ogóle nie ma butów, ma gołe stopy i jego palce wyglądają jakby były odmrożone. Albo są po prostu brudne, whatever.
Don't leave, there's more to come.
God, who rebooted this kid?
Are you familiar with making salmon sushi?
Does the Pope pray? Kid, you stand before the former chef of Japan's Imperial Palace, the man who introduced the West to sushi, tempura, and sake. And if that's the dish you want, it won't cost you a cent.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, because I can refuse to make it for you. I only work my cooking magic when I'm given each and every one of the proper ingredients, and I'm missing some essentials for sushi.
What ingredients go in sushi?
I don't see why I should tell you, but okay. It contains rice, nori algae, soy sauce, wasabi, ginger, a touch of sugar, a dash of salt, and in this case, salmon.
Wow, wasabi, na serio? Ile rzeczy potrzeba na zrobienie tego sushi? Gdzie ja to wszystko znajdę?
Which ingredients are you missing?
The salmon to start with, the nori, the wasabi. No, I guess I could achieve a similar effect if I mixed Dijon mustard with apple vinegar and some mint toothpaste.
Come
I
on.
think I have some soy sauce and ginger around here, so that would be it. Well, I don't have any chopsticks either, or a bamboo mat for rolling up the maki sushi.
Mamy matę, więc jej.
I'm not 100% sure of all the ingredients that you're missing, but I could try to find them somewhere around here.
You don't know what the salmon, nori, chopsticks, and bamboo mat look like? Your lack of culinary culture is at par with your IQ. Look around if you want, but I doubt you'll find them all.
Getting back to what you were saying,
You really like to analyze things in depth.
if we were to get all of the ingredients, how much would you charge me to make one dish of sushi?
That depends, kid. How much have you got?
Tak, telefon.
Wait a sec.
How much? Times with you seem to last
O
as
kurde, on ucieka.
infinitely as your stupidity. They have no end.
My first thought is I have nothing. Will that be enough? Hey, did you hear me? I said I don't have anything.
If you have nothing to offer, I have nothing to say. And of course nothing to make for you. Can't you get that into your head?
Okej, oczywiście na samym końcu zaproponujemy mu $1000.
It's not about what I have on me, but rather what you'll be taking away with you. I will make you the recipient of my eternal gratitude, my lifelong friendship, and my unconditional love.
Save it for when you try to hook up at AA or the Salvation Army or wherever you end up rotting. I only want money, or you can take your god-awful music elsewhere.
Well, I do have a state-of-the-art cell phone with a 3CCD camera. It also hooks up to the net by WAP, has an MP3 player, a hairdryer, a GPS tracker, and a C3PO universal translator.
A phone?
C3PO
Who would I
jak
want
z
to
Gwiezdnych
talk to?
Wojen.
Plus, the cameras in cell phones can be activated by remote control, and the CIA guys are no dummies. I'd rather keep an eye on you, just in case one day your idiocy grows to dangerous levels.
I think I've got about $1,000. Is 50 okay?
No, 1,000 will do for me. It's a done deal, kid. You get the salmon, the mat for rolling up the sushi, the chopsticks, and the algae. And I'll take care of the rest.
Are you ready? My question...
Well, in that case, we could start playing our old game again. But backward. Every time you open your mouth, you give me another reason to feel sorry for your pathetic self and put an end to your sorry, meaningless existence. Considering the vegetative state of your brain, it would be a true act of euthanasia.
Okej. Kolejne pytania? Spytam, ciekawe.
Are you barefoot because you don't own any shoes? Or did you make some sort of vow?
Is that what you think? Well then, let's just say I made a promise never to reveal why I go barefoot. Go figure that one out, kid.
It looks like your shower isn't working right. Or your washing machine, for that matter.
You're calling me a pig, aren't you? Well, get over it. I smell like myself, like a human being. In other words, what I'm supposed to smell like. If I'm not mistaken, you smell like body milk, shaving mousse, aloe vera gel, conditioner, artificial aromas B303, F507, and H452, along with any perfume made from camel's sweat that happens to be in fashion. Conclusion, the only dirty pig here is you, and you spent a fortune to get that way on top of it.
Wazowski says you hit him, blindfolded him, and gave him tarantula venom.
Wazowski is an imbecile. He was so drunk he fell down the stairs in his own house, so I threw him over my shoulder and dragged him back up. I put a wet rag on his forehead and eyes to lower his fever, but the guy started to get delirious and spewed a bunch of nonsense about his theory on bears. Then I made him a nice broth out of Terra brachula, a harmless brachiopod, and left him sleeping. The rest is a product of his moronic imagination.
No tak, czyli jednak on go nie porwał i nie związał i nie podał mu jadu tarantuli ugotowanego, czy jakoś tak. Po prostu chciał go
Do you
wyleczyć.
know Wazowski's theory about why bears scratch themselves?
I'm not just familiar with it. The theory is actually mine. I'm the one who discovered that female bears in heat scratch birch trees to get the sap out. It's as sweet as honey and can be used to make syrup. I noticed that right afterward, they rub their back against the tree to get all covered in it. Then a bear comes along, smells her back, gets on top of her to enjoy the delicacy, and well, nature takes care of the rest. But I don't care about Wazowski stealing the theory from me. I'm used to that kind of thing. Plus, the poor devil has to get some kind of enjoyment.
I think we should talk about more important things, Archibald.
I shudder to think what type of things are important to you.
Thanks, Archibald. I'll be seeing you.
That's a true threat coming from you.
See ya, Archibald.
But how will I find you?
Just whistle. if you know how. But
Thanks.
you'd better not bother me without a good reason.
This feels like one of those old movies. If I whistle, he'll come running. What a nut! Great.
So
The important thing is to focus on getting the ingredients this guy needs to make the sushi for me. It's occurred to me that, yes, I bet I can use that Chinese sign I grabbed at Wazowski's as a makeshift mat. What a relief. One less thing to worry about. And this leaf I picked up for Rutger could be used as nori. It's always nice to know you've got half the things you need without moving a finger.
No, przynajmniej mam 2 rzeczy. I chyba już wiem, co zrobić z tym kawałkiem drewna. Może teraz go rozbiję.
It's not the most ideal tool,
Yay!
but if I cut it in just the right spot, maybe I could carve something resembling chopsticks.
Na pewno się uda.
Well, it can't hurt to try.
To będzie zabawne.
Look at that. I did a pretty good job.
Cia, jasne. Co to był, jakiś kot? Okej. Mamy pałeczki, mamy to, mamy liść. Chrypa, goddammit. Co się dzieje? Tu widziałem, że coś spadło. Wybielacz, tak, rzucił we mnie wybielaczem, spoko.
Yeah, I think I've earned it. It isn't full, but there's quite a bit left. Luckily, it's closed tight and didn't break when that nutcase threw it at me.
No, myśmy zostali wybieleni. Ale mam pomysł, co można wybielić. Głowa łosia.
Okay, let's check out the results. It's a little stinky, but now it looks a lot more like the head of a polar bear.
No, dokładnie.
I'm not sure what it's good for, but it might make a good coat.
Czy możemy teraz mu dać tę głowę łosia? Jakiego łososia? Co ja chciałem powiedzieć? Przecież tu nie ma żadnego łososia. Znaczy są w wodzie w sumie. Dobra, i trzeba zapisać grę. 26. Dlaczego? Bo tu się może zawiesić. Okej, nie zawiesiło się. Dobrze. Dajmy mu ją. Pyk, pyk.
Yeah, I could pass it off as a fat-headed bear. But when it's on, Wazowski won't be able to see where he's walking and he might bump into something painful. I should do something about this.
Aha, trzeba zrobić dziurki w oczach. Tylko czym?
That won't...
Piłą?
If your plan is to start chopping up everything you come across...
W sumie nie wiem. Może znajdziemy coś przy samochodzie. Zobaczmy.
People
Wyciągarka.
use it to tow things. I doubt it'll start. I doubt it'll start. It's covered with... If I wanted to rest, I'd...
Przydałby się jakiś śrubokręt, jakiś pilnik, coś w tym stylu. Tylko nie wiem, skąd to wziąć. Fuck. Drewno na opał.
Between this one... This firewood is a bit wet.
Okej, nie chcesz, dobra. Może w środku? Tu
That's the
kina.
garment Joshua wears as a coat.
O Jezu, czemu on się Jej, nóż!
The blade's a little rusty. With this humid climate, I'm hardly surprised.
Jak mogłem go ostatnio nie zauważyć? Dziwne.
I'll take it, but I hope I don't have to use it on anyone. In that condition, it may not cut anyone, but it'll give them a nasty infection.
Jej, używamy to na głowie łosia.
Yeah, great idea. The knife's not very sharp, but I could use it to cut a lengthwise strip which could then be lifted like a visor. That way, whoever puts the head on can see where they're walking. Done. Hope it works.
Oby. W sumie to na pewno zadziała. No i dajemy mu głowę. I teraz będzie
All
najlepsze.
right, I'll leave it on top of his backpack to give him a surprise. There we go. Ben!
What's up, amigo?
Surprise, my friend. Look what you've got in your backpack.
The head of a bear? Very well done, but what variety of polar bears does that head belong to? I can't seem to place it.
Well, it's actually from a moose.
A moose polar bear? Not familiar with that species, but I've never been to a moose myself. Where's that located? Anyway, I don't think there's much of a difference between polar bear species anyway.